The Perfect Audition. Hey everyone, I'm Matt Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my amazing wife, Brooke. Bing! Sound effect was already there. Anyway, on with our topic. The Perfect Audition. I want to address this universal problem that actors face, which is this desire, nay obsession, to achieve the perfect audition. Each of you watching would describe the perfect audition in slightly different terms. But what I guarantee we're all doing is consciously or unconsciously trying to turn art into science. We're trying to take something subjective, the art, and turn it into something measurable and repeatable, the science. For example, you're taping an audition at home or at a taping service like Get Taped here in Atlanta. And on take 2, you flub a single word. Instead of saying the word perhaps, you substitute it with the word maybe. Your mind latches onto that mistake because it's a way to measure the success of that take. Here's the script. Here's what I did. Let me compare every syllable that came out of my mouth to see how well I did. I've done that recently. And it's not even that you're concerned with honoring every word that the writer wrote, because you've been told numerous times that a little flub here or dropping a sentence in the course of a 2-page monologue doesn't really matter. Not many people will notice, and certainly nobody will care. You understand that intellectually. But when it comes to assessing your own performance, you're mixing your head and your heart. Instinct, passion, and emotion down here, and measurable performance up here. Or maybe it's left brain versus right brain thinking. I don't know. My brother's the one with a PhD in neuroscience. And because art can't be measured, well, you resort to the accuracy of your dialogue as the way to determine whether you had a good take or not. That's one way we try to measure the success of our audition. But there is another way that we try to measure the success of an audition. There's a lot of air quotes in this video. The other way that we try to measure the success is to compare how the final performance felt to the rehearsal at home. During that rehearsal process, you discovered the beats of the script, the rhythm, the point of view of your character, the obstacles, etc., etc. And if you took your rehearsal too far, you also discovered the exact physicality, the intonation, and the exact delivery of every line. Warning, that is the kiss of death for any actor. Commit the lines to memory, but never commit the delivery of those lines to memory. If you do, you're setting yourself up for a real big problem. Not only will it sound rehearsed, but when something does inevitably go wrong, you won't be able to adjust in the moment. Because if you're memorizing the lines by also locking the delivery into place, well then the delivery becomes associated with the words in your memory. In other words, when you go to recall the script in the moment, when the camera is rolling, your brain is trying to access the memory. Are you still with me? Well, if something starts to slightly deviate from your rehearsal, you can no longer access the memory because the memory is tied to how you delivered the words. So if something changes in the moment, then suddenly your brain can't remember the lines. Sound familiar? And how can you possibly know exactly how the reader is going to read their half of the script, or how the temperature of the room, or the size of the room, or the distance from the camera, or any other myriad of things that will crop up in the performance might affect you? But I digress. I tend to do that, don't I? The point I was trying to make is that many actors turn their audition into a gymnastics routine or a choreographed dance. And it's understandable. By choreographing everything in the rehearsal, then you have something to measure your success by after you do the audition. Whether it's live or on tape. It might even give you comfort to know what to expect. But art is messy because life is messy. Full stop. Your daily life doesn't go as planned. You're either pleasantly surprised there was no traffic on the way to work this morning, or you can't understand why there are so many idiots on the road that got you late to your next appointment. And maybe when we step into a role, we're subconsciously trying to control life by making the scene go according to plan. Maybe it's our feeble attempt to assign order to what is otherwise a chaotic world. I should write that down. Paper. That's a topic for another video, or my therapist's couch. But suffice to say, we all need to embrace the messiness of art. Instead of resisting the unexpected, we need to realize that the most beautiful art exists right in the middle of that unexpected, chaotic mess. Some of the best moments that I've seen in the 15 plus years that I've been taping thousands upon the thousands of actors' auditions are the moments when the actor accidentally deviated from their plan. Not from the script, mind you, but from their plan. Oftentimes the actor hates it, but Brooke and I, time and time again, try to convince the actor that that was when they were most alive, most authentic, most real. Sometimes they acquiesce, and most times they decide to still go with their most perfect take. The one that most perfectly recreated their plan. Sigh. Let me sum up by saying that if you've never taken an improv class, Brooke and I highly encourage you to get into one right now. Improv will teach you to embrace the chaos and reconnect with that inner 5-year-old. You know, the one that could play for hours in the sandbox with little more than your imagination. You never judged yourself for how well you imagined that day. There was no measurement. So in conclusion, stop trying to measure the success of your art. Pack your parachute correctly, check the straps, get up to the right altitude, and at the appropriate moment, jump. After that, just enjoy that crazy journey back to Earth. And unlike this metaphor, you won't die if things go horribly wrong. You just go back to one and do it again. Because if the process of creating your art isn't fun, then what will be fun in your career? With all the distractions that abound on set, not to mention your inability to control whether your part gets cut or how much coverage you get in the final edit, then where will the fun be? So if you can't control those parts of the journey, you need to find joy and fulfillment in the parts that you can control. We could talk forever on this subject, but I'd rather continue that on a one-on-one basis, so feel free to leave a comment below or reach out and email us. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.